So, fortunately, we're pretty tight for time, but happy to take a few questions for you guys. Tom, you want to start off on that side?
Sure. Well, I just had two main ones for whoever wants to answer them, but I'll start with just the 7,000s. I know you had talked a few weeks ago, you might emphasize certain days, but just kind of describe this is pretty unique I mean, there's long been a separation between weekend and weekday, pre-derailment at least, but to actually separate by the day. So just to go into, again, if you would, the thinking on that, and is this the first time Metro's ever done that?
Yeah, I can't say whether it's the first time Metro's ever done that. I believe, based on our conversations, it seems like it might be, but I can't factually say that, obviously. So, listen, there's X amount of vehicles and X amount of staff available. So, to actually make a service increase, we had to target that just from availability. It's clear that Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are far busier than other days, not just on Metro. If you went out and asked restaurants, if you looked at events, if you looked at office space, you name it. So, we're responding to that with the available staff and equipment we have. Other agencies are looking at this, though. New York is doing a little bit of that, Toronto, some others. We are going to have a serious conversation with that going forward as well. So, we don't want to run an empty train or say on a Monday morning when we can better utilize that train on a Friday afternoon. So, we're going to be evaluating over time what is the base service that is needed to still have really good service, and where do you have to run a little bit more where demand obviously is. So, that's things like crowding and expectations and all those other things. So, I look at it as maybe innovative in the sense of maybe Metro historically, but actually really leaning into our job is to serve our customers and serve them when and where they need it and do it as safely as possible.
And the board's supportive of this because we do have to provide the best service possible given what we're dealing with and the model moving forward. The way people commute, how they use the system, when they use the system is going to be very different, and we're seeing it already. And people are using it more at night and over the weekends, so there's it's going to be changing and evolving over time. Yeah, the 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, how the system was originally designed it's probably over. Yeah.
And I had just one more if you want me to get mine out of the way,
Sure.
and then you guys take it away. Just because we're going to run something too on. I know 3 ladies, all who responded to difficult situations, 2 of which responded to gunfire that were honored today. If either of y'all could just say, just kind of how you feel about kind of some quick thinking under fire, and literally in some cases.
Yeah, I think personally, and I know other board members thought what they did was just amazing. The quick thinking, being so responsible and customer focused, and the safety of those customers was really extraordinary. And I mean there's no other word to describe it really what they did. I mean it's really, and their dedication, and that's the one as Randy said earlier in the meeting, how Metro really is a safe system, but when you look at the people who work here, the talent of the people who work here, and the dedication of the people who work here, it really is extraordinary. Those 3 obviously are the shining examples today, but there are a lot of people like that work here and serve our customers daily. So, yeah. What they did was
I can't say it better than that.
You don't want. I mean, it's incredible what they did, but you don't want your operators subjected to, gunshots. And,
yeah, of course not.
All this
of course not.
It feels like they are starting to become more kind of first responder type, like kind of running into dangerous situations. What do you kind of have to say, for operators out there dealing with this stuff?
Yeah, I talk to my team every day, and the last board meeting I said this. I said the board meeting before that. There's nothing I care more about than the safety of our staff and our customers. It's like, it is the stress. A lot of people think there's all these stresses in these jobs. I tell you right now, the management team, myself, others, the board, the ultimate stress is making sure our customers and our staff are safe every day. So, like the board chair just said, I'm really proud of what they not only they did in those situations. We have situations every day where someone has a medical emergency and one of our staff members either helps save their life or gets them the medical assistance. We have people we had a bus operator saw a child in the middle of the road. That's not related to gun violence. That is a societal situation, and they responded and potentially saved a child in cold weather. The people that work here are part of the community. And I think that gets lost in our vernacular in society now where people use, that's why I don't like the word they. They is very dismissive and easy to place blame. Well, they don't do this and Metro's that. Metro's made up of people. And the people here are good people that are trying every day to do the right thing by their community. And the community they serve are their neighbors, their friends and family, the people they go to church with, their kids' Little League. So, Metro is just another part of all this, Jordan. We have a societal issue with gun violence. And Metro is incredibly safe. If there's a shooting at Home Depot tomorrow, doesn't mean that no one's ever going to a Home Depot again, right? I mean, look what happened in California, unfortunately, the other day. I think we've had 35 mass shootings in America, like 7 or 8 more than days of the year. America has a disease of gun violence, and most of these situations, we're just the random place where sometimes someone crosses paths with someone else, right? But there's no actual targeted kind of gun violence on Metro itself. If anything, we're the fabric of the community, right? And we're the vessels we're the veins of the community, and therefore naturally you're going to have people interact with each other. But Metro's doing everything it can, and we talk to leaders and others, and I mean everyone's I think obviously frustrated with this, and it's not a DC DMV issue either. It's an American issue. So.
I have 2 quick questions on service. One, I know previously you were saying that May, once Yellow Line Bridge reopens, all that kind of stuff, was going to be, full budget service back. Is that kind of still the target, or?
Well, it wasn't just when Yellow Line, so just to be clear. We said, the end of spring, towards the end of the fiscal year, our goal was to be back at what the fiscal year budget service. So we're cautiously optimistic. Our goal is, today is a good example. We're being transparent. We want to show what people, and if we can beat these service levels, we're going to do that. So if we have the trains and staffing available at the end of February to go from 15 to 12 on Silver Line, I guarantee we're going to do that the first day we feel comfortable on. Or we might add a bunch of tripper trains until we feel that high level of confidence to build them into the schedule. The team every single day is working, laser focused on when a vehicle is on service, it is safe to go on service, and we are going to have as many people as possible run those vehicles to provide for it's clear the community wants more service. It's overwhelming people want more service. We're also, we're not that far away from Cherry Blossom. And we're thinking through how we're going to even manage those weekends. Those weekends, if we get the right weather, y'all live here, you get the right weather on the Saturday, Sunday with cherry blossoms, it is a busy, busy city. And we're already thinking about how we can manage through that.
Well, you got cherry blossoms, you got all the school trips are going to be coming back,
Yep.
tour buses.
That
That
season
crowd
starts
that
again.
month and a half, 2 months.
Cats will probably be
it's
in the
really-
playoff,
yeah.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
And just one quick follow-up on the weekday, kind of breaking up the weekday. I'm not sure how most random Metro customers, I imagine they'd maybe just show up and, a train comes when a train comes. But do you think there's any added confusion with, saying, well, Monday and Friday it's going to be this, and Saturday it's this, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
But
Perfect state, of course not. But the reality is, I think most people will take more trains for where they're trying to get to and dissect the communication. So we're going to continue to work on the communications, make sure that information is as smooth and easy for people as possible. But part of what's lost in this when we do lines here, and one of the things I've really challenged the team to think through this year is how do we talk more about where customers are and where they go versus lines. Lines are kind of a little bit old school in transit. So, I mentioned this term central subway, and we're going to really refine what that means to a lot of people. But between Roslyn and Stadium Armory is a very significant amount of people that use blue, orange, and silver. So they're going to have a train every 3.5 minutes. And then if you get to LaFont, I think, Andy just mentioned, overwhelming amount of people that are obviously transfer are those 3 stations, those 3 super stations. So when you get off at, if you went to, make it easy, Navy Yard, and you're coming from Tenleytown, the fact that blue, orange, and silver is running better east-west, you take Navy Yard, you're going to 16 Armory, you have a better connection there as well, right? So the network is slowly coming out of COVID and getting better, and that's what we're trying to communicate.
Okay, I got one quick question, and that is, what's happened with the training issue with the safety commission? Obviously, those 8 hours that we're talking about that you had combined into 38 hours. Why wasn't that permanent change made? That was something that you had said that was a thought out decision, and it was just not recorded and put into policy. Why wasn't it put into policy?
Yeah, well, Teresa addressed that in the room, but I'm happy to say basically try to paraphrase what she said, which is you know, we're gonna do a deeper analysis again of all of our training, which was already the kind of the plan as part of our realignment, a whole new training academy, how we do that thing. Simply said, we were not gonna put our customers through any chance of degraded service or other issues. So, you know, we fundamentally obviously disagree with the narrative that came out of the WMSC related to this topic. That's why we did a petition. The petition was over, obviously within a couple hours. We were okay to continue to move forward. I think that says a lot in its own right. What we decided to do though was take everybody that went through the modified training, put them back to the regular, so no one could say unequivocally these people are 100% trained. So there was no kind of gray matter or you know, conflation over here. And now we can go back and reset and really look through the training program and document it the way we want to. So again, customer focus. I'm not going to put our customers through a bureaucratic kind of paperwork fight between two agencies. We need to be customer focused.
Speaking of last thing is, the commission was very critical this last meeting. You know, obviously you spoke out a little bit about that, and I heard that. Obviously they weren't happy that a train controller or an operator was back working after allegedly lying about what had occurred. I'm just wondering, you know, what are your thoughts about this? They seem to be sharpening this issue. Instead of getting better, it seems to sort of be, you know, getting worse in a way as far as cooperation between the leaders, at least. It sounds like people, you know, who work together there, and that was even said at the commission meeting, work very well. But, you know, leadership-wise, this does not seem to be cooperating the way that the senators and everybody else had wanted.
Yeah, sure. Why don't I make a comment and Chair, I don't know if you want to. So on that particular topic you referenced, regarding an operator and discipline and whatnot, those are two different cases that quite frankly are being conflated into one case. One case is from 2021 and one is from 2022, and it's being kind of, the narrative there is that that's one thing. They're two dramatically different investigations. And again, part of our challenge is communication driven on facts and clarity would be really helpful. And sometimes there is language used that I think is confusing for media or the public or other stakeholders to see kind of truly what is happening and what is not happening. Obviously, discipline is our matter. It's how we deal with that in our collective bargaining agreement. Those things are, you know, Department of Labor and FTA and how we all do those kinds of things. So, you know, that to your technical point on the case itself, two different cases, and I think there's conflation.
So they conflated that when they were describing it.
I'm not saying they conflated, I'm saying there's confusion in how maybe it was presented or understood, but two different cases that to us seems somehow now are conflated. And I'm not saying they conflated that purposely, I'm saying at the outcome, I think there's a lack of clarity there, and we're happy to get some more information from you. Christy can get that if that's helpful. On the relationship, listen, I've said this from day one. I used to be a chief safety officer. I've dealt with state safety oversight in multiple states. I'm a massive proponent of having an independent oversight agency. No one will benefit for that more than me personally, right? As ultimately responsible for this agency, WMSC has no problem saying it's ultimately my responsibility, the safety of passengers and our staff. What I need is a partner in that. And so a partner, to me, we need to work together and collaborate. People need to pick up the phone more. People need to actually talk more together. And quite frankly, I think the less we're talking to all of you and the more we're actually talking to each other and focused on the outcome of safety is beneficial for everyone involved. And I think everyone in the region would love for us to just figure out ways to work together more seamlessly.
Thank you so much.
And I think,
Paul.
Justin,
Yeah.
I think what Randy just said is really important. I think the collaboration piece is really key here because, you know, as we said or as I said last week, we want to make sure that everything that comes out of the Safety Commission is based on a risk analysis and fact, okay? Bottom line. And once they make that determination, then Randy and Teresa and Jamie and whomever else is working on anything, they have to be able to do their job. And again, picking up the phone, more communication at the higher levels, having that partnership would be hugely beneficial instead of, you know, these gotchas.
Or these
that
letters
that doesn't
back and forth,
advance any kind of safety culture or a collaborative partnership. And I think that's what everyone wants to see, is the general manager just said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Okay,
very
thank you
much.
all.
Appreciate
Hope
it.
you have a
Yep.
good day.